All right, welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's Monday night, our favorite night of the week. We have a great call planned. And if you have questions, you can either jot them down and ask them at the end, or you can put them in the chat. And we will get to those at the very end when we are done recording. But we are glad you are all here. Kristen's going to get us started with a little bit of a twist. Usually we do a product training right now. Kristen's going to talk about how insanely awesome the incentive or the promotion is that doTERRA is doing this month, especially for those people who enrolled in January. It's really, really great. So she's going to kick us off with that.
So I want to just walk you guys through this, and I was just drawing it out visually because if you're a visual person, this will really help. So first, to start off, who on the call had someone enroll with them in January? Okay, cool, sweet. So you might have already realized this. I realized it as I was doing a membership overview with one of my enrollments. So the people, this is from my son's Sunday school class. Yes. Beautiful artwork.
Zacchaeus was a wee little man.
Closest piece of paper I could find. Anybody that enrolled in January with a 100 PV loyalty reward, 100 PV order. So basically any kit or a 100 PV order, enrollment order. And if they place a 100 PV order, they're going to get 100 points for free. And because of the promo this month, they also get an on-guard touch if they order 100 PV. So then if they order 125 PV on their loyalty rewards order before the 15th, so it has to be before Saturday, they get a free 5 ml of Ravensara. Then if they do a 200 PV order, they get all this stuff plus all the additional on-guard products. So basically these things right here, that's a total of about $100. So there's 100 points plus $100. And remember, this is for a 200 PV loyalty rewards order. So we're currently at BOGO status, buy $200, get $200 free. But that's not even to mention they're ordering the loyalty rewards program. So they're getting 10% of their order back in points, and they're also getting their shipping back in points. So they're getting at least 24 other points. So it's better than buy one, get one free. So anyways, I would just encourage you, maybe write this down so you can do the same thing that I just did with your new enrollment at their membership overview. Likely they will have the same reaction that my new enrollment had. I gave her a little welcome kit just with some shampoo and conditioner to try, some toothpaste, the normal things that you can give in a little welcome kit. And she actually went home, tried the shampoo and conditioner and a few other things, loved them, went and placed an LRP, and she was so excited because she basically just dumped a bunch of the toxic stuff that they have at their house. She is going to get rid of their shampoo and conditioner, their toothpaste. She got new skincare, and she was so excited because she got so much stuff for free. So anyways, it's a really fun month to help your new enrollment see the value of the loyalty program and how incredible doTERRA is to their members. Why would anybody ever order on Amazon Prime? Ever? It's already more expensive than our wholesale discount and potentially adulterated. But then on top of it, it's we get such good deals.
Do you want to talk about faster?
Oh, and not to mention, okay, so that was my brand new enrollment, right? So if you had an enrollment in January and they place a loyalty order right away like that, you're also going to be getting 20% on that order.
Fast start.
You're going to get a fast start bonus on that first loyalty order, just the way you get a fast start when they first enroll. So for instance, my new enrollment, she placed a 200 PV LRP. I got 20% on that, which I think was actually more than what she enrolled with. I'm pretty sure she enrolled with a 100 PV kit. So I actually got $40 off of this order, and I'm going to use it to give her an Essential Life book for free. But so, I mean, she's getting even more craziness, right? All this for free. But
Her
anyways,
life is never going to be the same.
yeah, she's a
That's
really
the
sweet
best part.
mama, and she's so excited. And you know that like customers, when they start off like that and they find incredible products from the start that they love, they likely will become an incredible customer for a long while.
You said this
Yes.
in March.
Yes. They're going to get the 100 LRP points. Yes.
Yep.
So good.
Cool.
Hey, Andy.
Thanks for doing that. Okay, so we're going to go into the business training portion. So I'm going to put this in context of what we've been talking about. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about how crucial it is to build belief in the company and the opportunity. And the good ways to do this are, we talked about borrowing belief from those who are where you want to be, by just rubbing shoulders with other people on our team, but also reading the leadership magazine, attending doTERRA events, and things like that. Last week, we talked about the importance of finding committed and capable builders to partner with. And this is so crucial if we want to build a pipeline beyond the rank of elite, right? We talked about to get to premier and silver and gold, platinum, and above. We need to find committed and capable builders to partner with. We also, last week, we introduced Elisa's Find a Builder program, who's been on there and started listening to the Find a Builder calls. They are great. There's not as many, but they are longer than the daily mentor calls. So be prepared for that, but they're really, really good. Maybe we'll have time for Kristen to share a testimony on how a call of hers went.
I did
today.
the best happy dance I've done in a really long time because of doTERRA today. Elliot was like, "What are you doing, mommy?"
Elliot and I dance all the time, but it's a really good day if Kristen starts dancing.
With no music really on.
Okay, so tonight this week we're going to talk about 3 easy ways to introduce the doTERRA business opportunity. Because a lot of times, and these are easy, I promise, a lot of times we build it up to be this big thing, when really it's like we get to do the most amazing work, and to invite other people to do that with us, like, doesn't need to be complicated. Okay, so some of these, if you are familiar with the daily mentor calls, they will be blatantly stolen from there, but we wanted to talk about them here on this call. So the first one is, the first way to easily introduce the doTERRA business opportunity is after an Intro to Oils class and after continuing education classes. Do you want to talk about how you've seen those?
Yeah, so I've talked before
and why is that a good time to introduce?
Yeah, I've talked before on Facebook Live about recent success that we've been seeing by following not only an Intro to Oils class, Elise style, but then following it with the Intro to the Business or the Intro to the Joy of Sharing Essential Oils classes. And I think the reality is, like, it just is, even if, like, let's just say worst comes to worst and you don't even find a builder off that class, the reality is it helps you flex the muscle of like sharing why you love the business, and people get to see your confidence and your joy, and people will want to support you more in your business when they see your confidence. And so for me, it's like been a process to get to a place where I'm confident enough to do a class like that. And so I'm just being honest that I understand if some of you have felt hesitancy towards doing it. It's not something that we've ever done in the past, but it's amazing after you do your first couple and you just start to see how awesome they are and how people receive them. They really are curious to understand the business, and it really feels more genuine in the first place, because I think when we don't teach Intro to the Business classes, it's almost like weird feeling, or like we're trying to be sneaky or something like that, that's the whole MLM thing that people don't like, is when we're sneaky. So it's like, if I'm like trying to just like, get them in with the product and then eventually I'll maybe tell them about the business, that's sneaky. Yeah. Just telling them right away from the start how awesome the business is so they can make their decision whether or not they want to do it. and making it clear that they don't have to do the business. They can just be a customer. It actually like feels way better than what I was doing before.
Yeah. I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Is just telling people like, hey, 85% of the people in doTERRA only have wholesale customer accounts. There is absolutely no obligation to earn income from doTERRA doing this, but we really love it. And if this is something you're potentially interested in, we just want to share a little bit so you can learn, and then you can make a decision from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So did anyone feel like that was like really high pressured or salesy or anything? Okay. Do you want to, sorry, before we go to the next one, do you want to just share like how you transition? So if these are after continuing education or intro to oils classes, I know Elise talks about this on the call, but like how have we done it?
I just literally said exactly what Elise says to say, which is basically like, so the times I've done it are interesting because I'm actually teaching a class online for my builder that's in person with all our people. So I've just said, right now we're going to take I'm just going to go ahead and pause my sound. Andy's going to go around the room and help to see what you guys are working on health-wise and help you decide what kit would be best for you. And then in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll restart here and we're going to share about the joy of sharing essential oils. And we're going to have, I can't remember, On Guard apples or peppermint brownies. I can't remember what Andy had. But anyways, we just like introed the food and said that we were going to do it. And I mean, Jill could share her experience even. We'll maybe do that at the end. But Jill was at that intro to the business class that we taught, and it was just really natural. Yeah. It was great.
Okay. All right. So that's the first way. The second way is during the enrollment process. And I know Kristen back in the fall had shared a little bit about like her enrollment process. But what I have noticed, and you can fill in the gaps here, I think this is brilliant and takes like no extra effort. And I think Kristen sometimes doesn't say she's strategic, but I kind of think she is. So when she's gone through the process with somebody and they are actually enrolling, she asks a very simple question. Like, she doesn't assume wholesale customer account or wellness advocate account. She always asks. So there's two types of accounts in doTERRA. I could like say it exactly like her because I've heard it so much. There's two types of accounts in doTERRA. The only difference is one allows you to earn income. The other one is just a wholesale customer account and you don't earn income. And she'll a lot of times she'll say like, which type of account is right for you or something like that.
Or sometimes if I like feel any sort of like, I feel uncomfortable asking them that question, which I think is all in my head, I'll say like, I assume you're probably just wanting to do the customer one based on the conversations we've had, but I just wanted to double check. And then I can hear their response. And it's interesting because there's sometimes things that people will be like, well, can I upgrade later? Or like, what does that look like?
I would say almost half the time people say, if I decide I want to earn income, can I upgrade later?
Yeah.
And then the other half of the time, well, like 10% of the time is like wellness advocate. And then 40% of the time is I just want to be a wholesale customer.
And even when they tell me wellness advocate, a lot of times I'm like,
almost all the time.
I'm like, well, we should actually enroll you as a wholesale customer, and then we'll just spend a lot of time learning about your oils and really getting you jump started, and then we can upgrade you later.
Yeah. But just by asking the question, even though 99% of people enroll as a wholesale customer, it's helpful for us. It's just a helpful question to know like what their response is, like if they're interested in it, even at all. And then we can have a follow-up conversation at that point. So after that, then at the membership overview is another great opportunity just to either like with a build guide or with a share guide or whatever, like it's an opportunity to expose or introduce people and just saying like, hey, this is an option to you. I'm here to serve you and give you all the options. Obviously, I want to empower you and help you with your products, but there is an income earning opportunity if that's something you're interested in. And then just seeing if they respond to that at all. And then
even better, I think, is to have a card prepared with all your continuing education classes and be ready to hand that to them. And you get them plugged in right away to your continuing education, knowing that once they come to the continuing education, they're going to be learning about the business in little amounts there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
So the last one that Tyler was going to share about is reaching out directly or through a referral from a mutual friend. And so I'll just like share a couple examples of these, even though, so reaching out directly, the main instance that I can think of that I personally did that was with Rachel Taylor. And I was like slow in the process. I built relationship. Now I would do it differently because of the way Elise has empowered us to know how to do it. But anyways, I just knew, like looking at her and who she was and what she was doing with her life, that doTERRA was an awesome potential for her that would partner with what she was doing as a nutritionist. And so that's why I brought up the business directly from the very start. It was because I had asked a lot of questions. I understood her life. I understood like problems that she was experiencing. And I knew the doTERRA business was as much of a solution for her life as the products were. I knew she loved the products, but I knew that the business was equally as important to her. And I'm sure you guys have encountered people like this. Like a common thing that will happen is if somebody's at a class and they're super interested in the products, but they can't pay for their oils, or they can't buy what they want. Well, then that's a great way to open up the potential of doing doTERRA as a business as a way to pay for their products. And then working to get a referral through a mutual friend is another great way. And this is why I did a happy dance today, because guys, I'm just like all of you. And since we went to, well, maybe before that, for sure, since we went to Elise's training, the Back to the Basics training in Salt Lake, I've been saying, okay, the number one thing I need to do is work to find more committed and capable builders through referrals. And I haven't done it yet. It's amazing. It is really amazing all the things that you can come up with that you need to get done in your business to avoid the thing you're scared of, right? Anyways, just being real. So today I made my first call, which it was like a no-brainer, easy one to make, but
which is what Elise recommends.
Which is, yeah, Elise tells you to start with the easiest person.
Like call your grandma if she would be influential and know people that you would want to connect with.
And I did that call and it went like super well. And that's why I did a happy dance. She came up with 4 names while we were on the phone. And then she told me she was going to set an alarm for her car drive tomorrow to brainstorm more ideas. And she's super pumped about referring people to me. And I was like, dang, I'm going to do more of these calls this week. So anyways, I just encourage you, if you have that thing in your business that you know that you need to do, you will probably feel much better when you actually step out and just do it. And I think the same thing happened to me when we started with Carol was the first one, and then Andi was the second, that we added the Intro to the Biz class. Like it went so well and it felt right. And yeah, there was little things.
Immediately following.
Yeah, immediately following the intro oils class. Because the first time I learned that, I was like, no way, that's crazy. Like, why would you do an Intro to the Biz class right off an intro oils class? That feels so fast. And now that I've done it, I'm like, why would we not do it? Why have we done it any other way? But ultimately, I just want to encourage you that if you have that like one thing that you know you need to be doing, but you're avoiding it, you should probably just bite the bullet and do it, because it will feel really good.
I just feel like when Kristen was doing this, it made me think of, so I used to work for a company, not the last company I worked for, the first company I worked for. They gave a recruitment bonus, and a lot of big companies do this for their employees. Like if the company is hiring people, they will give an incentive to their existing employees if they help find someone to come and work for their company. Especially tech companies do this. And I'm like, so it's like, it's not that crazy to call people and say, hey, this is the type of person I'm looking for to work with. Do you know anybody that I should have a conversation with? Okay.
I thought you were going to say you were giving them all a recruiting bonus.
You do get a
Just kidding.
recruiting bonus when you hit per man.
Andy's all for that. And Carol too.
I wish.
So now we're going to transition into recognition, one of my favorite parts of the call. And all of you guys seriously need to send in your recognitions for your people, because otherwise this is just it's always the people that I'm in regular contact with. So,
or for yourself, just say, hey,
yeah,
I'm killing it this week.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. So Laura Glanville did a calling tree with her team. If you've seen, Elise Chedevy's, she has in the Daily Mentor Call, she talks about this, to reconnect and serve her customers. And then she also is re-engaging sharers and builders to connect them with the Daily Mentor Calls.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't on these calls, which I know there's a lot of us that are not on these calls, especially sharers, just like giving them that resource of the Daily Mentor Call.
They're amazing and so empowering.
Can be super helpful.
Londa did the same in that she did a calling tree on her team as well. And then she's also been super consistent. I think she's maybe one of the only people I know of right now that is doing weekly continuing education classes. And she's gotten creative with her. She's doing hers online right now, but I just think it's awesome that she's investing in that. Yeah. Danny Harris is getting super clear on her goals, and she's also been having some crucial conversations with some of her builders and prepping for Diamond Club, which is awesome. I think so far I know that Danny and Stacy Meehan and then Londa are all doing Diamond Club. Londa is the only one that is like applied and approved already, which is awesome. And then Carol Fox just has continued to bring more and more people to do three-way calls with me. And the reason I wanted to recognize her actually is because I love it when my builders are like pushing for something as hard as I feel like I am. And she just is like going after her dreams. And I love it. Like she just is pushing forward full steam, and she's going to find some killer builders through this process. She already has found some really awesome ones. And then Emily Wolf and Rachel Taylor are both completing their essential oil study this week and having their classes, and they said it's been going really, really well, which is awesome. And I also just wanted to point out that they both collaborated to do this study, and they're not on the same team. And I love that they did that. And I would love to see more of that on the LDC. I know a lot of people are interested in doing studies, so we'll be talking in the future, and because I think I could see a lot of you guys all collaborating to do one together that could be really, really awesome. And then we also wanted to recognize everyone who's going through the Daily Mentor Calls and the Find a Builder calls. We know lots of you are jumping back into sampling. Specifically, Dawn C shared, I love hearing these stories because these are like from the people that have been around on our team for a long while. And Dawn just shared how she's been listening to the Daily Mentor Calls, and she's starting to see the shift that's happening in her business.
Can I read it?
Yeah. Okay.
This is what Dawn said. Well, first she shared a little graphic that said, change your ways for better results, which I think is great. This is what she said. Guys, I'm starting to feel the shift. Dun, dun, dun. One big thing I've learned from Elise so far is that you do not invite a potential customer to a class unless you have sampled them effectively, until they've had a great experience with an oil or product. I've been sampling, and most of them I had sampled earlier in December at my vendor booths. I've been following her scripts, and they've helped me with wording. I'm delivering 3 samples today. I have someone hosting a class for me coming up, and I've started inviting and getting yeses.
So good.
Yeah.
And one other thing that I wanted to say that's fun about Dawn is that we, like, in our doTERRA businesses, we all have different like generations, or there's generational gaps. And so it's funny to me that something that is so hard for some of the builders that I work with, which is calling people, is so easy for Dawn C, because that's her generation. And that is the advantage of working with someone that's in that generation, is that like calling on the phone isn't scary. And so Anyways, I love that about her, that she's really good at that and that she's seeing the shift. And then last but not least, I wanted to recognize Melissa because she went through and she has surveyed all of her builders to hear where they're at in their biz so she can strategically support them. And she's like, her collaborating with all of her silver leaders in Sioux Falls, and they're going to be launching continuing education classes, I think, in March, which is super exciting. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be mega classes. I don't know where you're hosting those, Mel, but
Shields training room.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. So we'll do some announcements and then we'll wrap up the recording and get into Q&A if you guys have any questions or any comments. Okay, so first, definitely take time, like what Kristen said earlier, like the thing that you know you need to do in your business, but it's the easiest to put off, that's probably the thing you need to do. So make sure and schedule time to do that. February promos, Kristen already talked about a lot of them.
Has anybody gotten the Raven Sara yet?
We haven't gotten ours yet.
Is it so good? Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Everybody's very enthusiastic.
Now I'm really excited about it. The winter protection kit is still.
Did you notice that eucalyptus has started to smell not as good as back in the day?
You have noticed that?
Eucalyptus.
Or you're asking if I've noticed it?
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but eucalyptus I feel has changed a little bit. Not terrible, but it's just not quite the same. This is the eucalyptus you've always dreamed of.
Wow.
Ravens. It's wow. That's what I want eucalyptus to smell like. It is eucalyptus on steroids. It's good.
I wonder if your nose has changed. Now I want to smell my eucalyptus. I haven't.
Your nose has changed, jerk.
Are you sure you're not pregnant? Your nose is.
I am definitely not with child.
Okay, glad we got that cleared up. The winter protection kit is still available. That's a limited time only product.
And I had read that they think it will run out within the week.
Yeah. For sure by the 15th. And then Kristen already talked about the free On Guard Touch with 100 PV orders, the free On Guard Oil, On Guard Touch, On Guard Sanitizing Mist, and On Guard Foaming Hand Wash, plus a pump with any 200 PV order. That's standard order, LRP, or, I know nobody does standard orders, so it's LRP or an enrollment order. Diamond Club is for silvers and above, and the enrollment or the application deadline is February 25th, and Leadership Retreat is now open to premieres. I think this is the first time they've ever opened it to premieres. So that's in Phoenix starting March 11th through the 13th. Kind of late notice, but
Lynette just said that she's getting her first Power of 3 bonus this month.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
That's a big
super
deal.
Exciting.
I talked about that a little bit on my final installment of residual income.
That would be my last announcement / also whatchamacallit, a recognition is that Tyler is just like everybody else and has his own fears. He's actually really good at presenting, but it takes him a lot to feel confident enough to do it. And he's been teaching the videos on the Living Drop Collective Wellness Leaders page about residual income. And y'all want to learn from him because he's an accountant. He was a finance major.
Was an accountant,
sorry. He's still, never mind. We pay somebody else to do our taxes. He knows stuff when it comes to how to strategically use your money to work for you in the long term. And he also, in his former job, he talked about worked for a nursing home. And if you listen to his video today, specifically in the Wellness Leaders page, he talks about his experience of seeing where your money goes when you're that age, specifically when you're not healthy and you're in a nursing home. But it just really gives a great perspective that I think anyone would benefit from, to like think about your money and where you need it, what do you need it to look like for like the long term of your life. That's something that I'm not good at, and I'm so thankful he brings to our relationship. But I just encourage you all to be thinking about what the long term of your finances looks like, and think about what doTERRA can do as a tool for you, how it can help your family and help you in the long term to provide for you. And anyways, the last one today specifically, I really loved. He shared some really cool testimonies and just some different examples of the way that doTERRA can be clutch when you need it the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to say something based on what Lynette had written. The first part of her comment, I have to comment on that because she said, I'm way behind all you folks. And I think I'm learning through a lot of my leaders specifically that there's so much unknown about all of us that are on the call. And there's a lot of things that are assumed. And so I want it to not be assumed anymore. Like everyone that's on the call is at completely different places in their business.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have never seen this Jill before, but there's no way. Jill, are you still here? I can't find you. Maybe you jumped off. She just
in the
I can't see her. Oh, hey. Sorry, I was scrolling too quickly. Don't take any offense at this, but are you earning your $50 power of 3?
She's brand new.
I don't even know what that is.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
No way.
You're not, because you just started in doTERRA, right? So there's so many of you. I don't know if Andrea is. Andrea just started like Stacy is, because she's been doing this for 3 freaking years. Like she should be earning it, you know? I am, because I've been in it for 6 years. Y'all would not want to listen to me if I wasn't earning a $50 power of 3 and I've been doing doTERRA for 6 years, right? Like you expect that I've probably got that figured out. Anyway, I just want to show like Carol doesn't have a diamond team, but she's like showing up every week. Like we're all at totally different places. I'm not where I want to land in the business either. I want to be more than diamond so that my income can cover my husband's income and he can be home. So I'm here like learning all of anything I can like possibly grab out of the calls. Like everything that Tyler went through today, like to be honest, I like knew it all. But I'm not here because I'm like want to just be like totally blown away with like new transforming information. I want to be here because I want to be in community with y'all, and I want to see Carol show up, and I want to figure out who this cute Jill is and learn about her and encourage her and tell her that, girl, you're gonna rock doTERRA. Like you have got it. Like just you showing up tonight shows me that you can be where I am in doTERRA, because you could be doing a million other things tonight. Anyway, I just felt like that needs to be continually shared. Like every time we get on the call, like just a reminder, what is the point of us all getting together from 8:30 to 9 o'clock? It's not to like pat each other on the back so that we can all just feel good about ourselves and like go off and do nothing again. Like it's to encourage us, but it's also to challenge us. And it's everybody who's jumping on this call is at a totally different place in their business. And they should be. We all are, because we're all learning from each other. And some of you guys are doing things at the beginning places of your business better than I was at the beginning places. So I'm learning so that then I can find new builders who want to start and can start as well as Carol and can start as well as Jill, or whatever the stories are. But anyway, Lynette, girlfriend, that is a huge stinking deal that you are earning $50. I saw that happen. I've been meaning to talk to you all week, so respond to my text, okay? But it happened in like the last few minutes of the month. Someone ordered a second order that brought her to 100 PV, that brought it all to 600 OV, and boom, $50 like locked into place. So I don't know if you played a role in making that last order happen, but I'm proud of you. Whatever happened that month, like, way to go. Rant over. I'll get off my soapbox. But I just felt like I had to say all.
So good. And that's why I'm like I see some diamond leaders and they act like they just have it all figured out, and I refuse to ever do that. And I want you guys to all know that even me today, I was stepping in the fear and doing something new, and we're all doing that. I love what Melissa said about like that's like the power in these calls, is that we realize we're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing that we all fight against in this entrepreneurship journey. That's why I always encourage everybody to have your screens on, your video on, because you can see each other and build relationship and connection. I know some of you guys actually can't. I'm not trying to guilt trip or anything like that. Just saying, if you can have your screens on, it's such a gift because you get to connect. And that's something in like entrepreneurship land that I think is really hard to do. Like you feel like you're alone in the day to day, and that's just not true. We're all in it together and rooting each other on. So
Dawn would have her screen on. My mom is losing her mind right now because she can't. Her computer is like broken and won't let her put her screen on, and she's such a rule follower. Anyway, Dawn, it's okay.
We love you, Dawn.
Tyler, can you please do a call with Dawn to help her figure out why her video doesn't work anymore? Please, for the love of God, help.